Black History Month is so important to celebrate and to recognize because Black history is American history. Ever since before this country was a country, African Americans the African American experience has defined key cultural and political moments in this nation's history.
Black History Month is an awesome time for me. It brings up childhood memories. Every year at church, I used to have to get up and do a report on Martin Luther King or a different person in history and stand in front of a whole church and present. That was one of our things that we did at our church. So it definitely is nostalgic for me.
Black History Month is a celebration, as you said, of my culture, of my ancestors, of the revolutionaries that have paved the way for many and more to come.
There's a lot of sacrifices that have been made, a lot of lives that have been lost, a lot of families that were really impacted by discrimination of all sorts. And so Black History Month is a time to really reflect back.
I think it should be more than a month, but I think we should be celebrating all the accomplishments Black people make in America.
Our poetry, the art, the music, the dance, the engineering, parts that we're playing in legislation. I love that we take the time to celebrate it.
We have to understand that while there have been many accomplishments down this road, there's still so much further that we need to go, so much more that we need to do. And I think celebrating Black History Month is part of the way of getting there, but we need to shine a light on some of the other areas where we should draw attention.
I think it's important to uplift our Black heroes because they're not forgotten. I believe that sometimes when we go back into the past, we see what they have achieved, and it kind of puts a fire underneath us to keep on going, to keep on striving for what they achieved, and even to go further than that.
I feel in my civic career I've had a lot of role models to look up to, too many to name, but as a young child growing up in the city of Los Angeles, a lifelong Angelino, Mayor Bradley was the mayor of my childhood. And I became a city employee shortly after he had retired from city service, but just even his legacy and having worked at the airport and seeing his name on the international terminal there and knowing the role that he played in helping to develop the port of Los Angeles, it's been very inspirational for me. And knowing about Burts and the role that he played here at the port as well. So fortunately for me, I've had a lot of role models and a lot of people to look up to here at the port and all throughout my city career.
My father was an engineer with the city of Los Angeles, so he really served as a really great example of what it meant to be an engineer with the city of LA, specifically an African American engineer with the city of LA. And I think just having him as a role model and having him as an example, it made being an employee of the city of Los Angeles feel more natural.
I would say that it makes me feel prideful seeing people that look like me, doing all different types of jobs, because every job is important. It's not just like executive level, like people think like, oh, that's, where we want to see it all. But no, every single job contributes something. Because
this is the city of Los Angeles, I got lucky when I started working here at the Harbor Department. My first day, there were at least 2 or 3 other men in my division that were of color, and I felt comfortable right away. And I knew that was because I'm in LA, and that's a benefit.
You don't get a lot of Black people in the trade. You go from job to job, and there's a lot of jobs that you go on to, and you're probably the only Black person on the job. So to be able to be in this trade for so long and get to the position that I am, it's an awesome feeling to do that.
It would be nice to see more African Americans join the ranks. It's something that we're working on right now, trying to reach out to African American students to let them know that the City of Los Angeles, the Harbor Department, is a great place to work, and hoping that they can join our ranks.
Since working at the Harbor Department, I've seen a conscious effort and movement to make sure that internally and externally to the department, there is an inclusion of a diverse group of people, women, men, minorities, making sure they have a seat at the table to weigh in on decisions that are being made internal to the department and also external, outwardly facing for the community.
If I can encourage anyone who is an African American or regardless of your race, stay the course. Don't give up. Don't give up on yourself. Always bet on yourself.
Diversity, equity, and inclusion will be the bridge to the future of Black history. Whereas so much of Black history has been defined by injustice and strife and struggle, that hopefully going forward, that more inclusive efforts to bring more African Americans to the table will be defined by these efforts so that we can have a new generation of future Black history makers.